Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your boy Carcino here. And as the trial was underway, the courtroom, there were sidebars, there was a little things to follow up on before they made their case. Now, yes, sir. I see you, John. Now, let's get to this because we need to get into the full gist of what's actually transpiring here. Keefe D has put in his plea, and as Keefe D put in his plea, everybody wanted to know my thoughts about him putting in his plea. So we go from there in this case. Keefe D was accused, of course, for the Tupac Shakur uh, murder. He's been charged for it. And now everyone is starting to see, well, he's got to make his plea. So this is his plea case that was entered today. This is what Keefe D looks like today since he's been behind bars. You're looking like Black Santa. The stress seemed to be getting to him, seemed to be gaining weight. Now, all of the strategy that was put into place, and a lot of people said it was surprising. A lot of people was expecting him to be brought in, including Reggie Wright Jr. was predicting that he would be arrested. Reggie's a former police officer. That's Keefe D. Dwayne Keefe Davis, aka Keefe D, pled not guilty and was arraigned in Clark County District Court in Nevada on November the 2nd. Also, a judge appointed two special public defenders, which is Robert Arroyo and Charles Cano to represent Keefe D. They had no comment to the media, but Keefe D has been trying to hire a high-profile attorney named Ross Goodman, which had delayed the case. After a previous hearing, Goodman criticized the prosecutor's lack of evidence, saying there's no gun, there's no car, there's no witnesses from 27 years ago. Prosecutors will not be seeking the death penalty in this case. The district attorney, who was Steve Wilson, he came out and told the media after the hearing that Keefe D was not the kind, this is not the kind of case that merits the death penalty, without elaborating on it, because everybody would say, yeah, the high profile of the entertainer, but like I told you, they don't like Tupac. So because they don't like Tupac, they're not too keen to jump up to do anything about it. Absolutely. Yes. Well, he's being held without bail. His next hearing is November the 7th. So in 5 more days, he's got to go into another hearing so that they can schedule a trial. Yes, that's what the next hearing. This was the plea hearing. Now they got to go to another hearing to set the trial. hmm He was arrested on the 29th, right? Yes, hit the like button, good people, as they might not be sending out notifications at this moment in time. I want you guys to still be able to, receive the information as it comes. Absolutely. What evidence will be presented? Who knows? Whatever they have, new information that brought things to light, all of it will be brought up. You would think, right? This is a court case. Yes, hit the like button, please. The super chat works. The Cash App is Carceno, Karceno. If you want to support the Cash App. Yes, he has two public defendants. He hasn't gotten the funds together to acquire Ross at this time. So he's been trying to get the high-profile defense attorney to take the case. Normally, defense attorneys would take this case because of the popularity of the artist. This is Tupac Shakur, one of the largest recording artists in history. So for you not to want to take that case is a little bizarre to me. I would think of it as bizarre that, man, they wouldn't want to touch this case. That's pretty strange. But yeah, they would pretty much do it for free because this is the type of promotion that would, elevate their name. They're going to be on all the news channels. That, it's the kind of attention you probably want if you're a lawyer. This is how lawyers would run out because they be like, man, he can't afford those services. How did he acquire that lawyer? Because they get something out of it. If you saw the movie Gone Girl, Tyler Perry played the powerful lawyer that Ben Affleck's character couldn't afford. But because of the popularity of the actual everything going on, this is mass media attention. This is free promotion. This is like millions of dollars worth of promotion for the lawyer. Win, lose, or draw. Well, when you start looking at, let's say, the full scope of things, right? Saying, let's look at the full situation and see what's going on in the courtroom, what's going on with everything, what have you. You have a lot of people, what they call a lot of cooks in the kitchen. And when you got a lot of cooks in the kitchen, the scenarios don't normally come out good for you. Well, tell those famous people to subscribe to Carceno for Life channel. Well, see, the situation they're going to have is that Yeah, well, Keefe D is going to have to actually, yeah, well, they're going to actually have to deliver some very, very potent information to sway the decision to go the way they want. Now, of course, at this court date, he also had to choose, did he want a bench trial or a jury trial, which he chose a bench trial because there's no way in hell you're going to select a jury trial. I don't even know why anyone would ever assume that Keefe D would choose a jury trial because everybody in the world who's a human being would probably convict him off GP. Just from the popularity of the situation, he would be convicted. So for him to take a bench is better for him because of the lack of evidence. Well, no, the bench trial means they got to go off the evidence. Emotion is eliminated from the process usually. So the judge is supposed to be bipartial and only goes off the information. Now you don't have to go through a whole vetting process of trying to pick a jury and trying to pick someone who could block out all the attention they've read on social media. So it makes no sense to move the trial to another state and saying, hey, we're going to go move the trial over here. Don't matter. People got social media now. It's not like the 80s or 90s where what is going on in this town ain't going to be heard in this town. No, they got social media. This is a very huge case. This is one of the largest artists in hip hop history. And now this case is everywhere. Ain't no way you can find a juror who ain't heard Keefe D, Tupac, that situation, and you gonna bring them in to try to be they ain't gonna care what the evidence showed. They're gonna be guilty. Well, you come to a decision, Your Honor? Yes, we have. Guilty. Did you have this decision before you came to court and even signed up to the trial? No comment. So, of course, he's going to ask for a bench trial. So, and you ask for a bench trial because there's lack of evidence. There's a lack of physical evidence. That was 27 years ago. That's a long time, people. And without a lot of physical evidence, everything's going to be circumstantial. And you got to try to pin somebody there and use a proffer agreement of saying, well, he said he was there, Your Honor. Now, if this person is a proven liar, you're right back in the mix. You're right back where you don't want to be. Who are you supposed to believe? A Greg Kading who just goes around, lie, makes up information, violate proffer agreements, to sell a book, get movie rights, a cop like that, who Russell Poole was basically saying, this guy is pretty much the filth that he's talking about that was in the industry. So if you see that, then you see, wow, this is what it's like. No, they kept him. They kept him pretty much contained, meaning that everything that he wanted to accomplish and everything that they wanted to push, as far as the agenda that was going along with Keefe D, they kept that agenda on the shelf. Absolutely, Greg Kinnear is alive. And now here come these other cops. They're digging up out of the dirt with a Tupac story or an interview. You see, this is what Tupac often talked about. This is what everybody else often talked about and spoke on, saying that when he passed, there's going to be people to come forward and say, oh, I interviewed him, and oh, he was this, and they didn't like him when he was alive. And like his mother told him that this was going to happen, and said they did the same thing to Malcolm X. When Malcolm X was alive, they hated him. Once he died, it was, oh my God, he was so wise, he was so smart, and he was, oh my God, he is this and he was that. And would write stories about him. And Pac said, what? I just don't like that. If you don't like me, don't talk about me. So we already knew what the situation was when we came across a lot of these scenarios. People ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know what's a problem and what ain't a problem. It's hard to fool people. They know who phony and who ain't. Serious. How many of y'all saw the factoids of what was going on the last time around? No, Pac's biggest problem was he went forward with a fight at the MGM Grand. If Pac would have lived and survived that fight, he was going to jail. Tupac was going to Vegas. A lot of people saying Tupac didn't want to go to Vegas and all that. Suge forced him to go. He had to go to Vegas, people. I don't know why y'all thinking like, man, Pac don't want to go. Pac had to go. He was going to 662 because he had to go. As part of a plea deal for Pac, he was going to serve his charity duty because he went to court, and only to serve his charity that he hadn't been performed, his community service, he was going to do a concert for charity, which was going to be his performance at 662. For this boxer, this police officer who has a PAL, police officers normally sponsor, they normally sponsor boxing events. And they call them the PAL, the POL. So the police officer had his own boxing event, and he was having the charity foundation at 662. Suge was doing this, so he was doing this charity. Tupac was going to perform at 662 anyway, do a couple songs, and then that was going to cover his charity. So he don't have to go out there and serve in the public and all that, pick up trash and all that stuff. So he was getting ready to do that, but now he had a fight at the MGM Grand. He knows security cameras are everywhere. So when he got back to the hotel, when they said, man, he was out there just reflecting on what just happened, he knew he screwed up. So he was thinking about, like, damn, I just screwed up. When he got back to the hotel, it changed. Why wasn't Tupac wearing his bulletproof vest? He wasn't wearing his bulletproof vest. They tried to tie that to Mike Tyson. Oh, he was under a false sense of security because he was Mike Tyson's special guest. That is the biggest nonsense I've ever heard in my life. He didn't wear a bulletproof vest because it was hot. It was hot as hell. He was with all the securities, with Death Row. He's like, I'm straight. Nothing finna happen. We got too much protection here. So the much security and protection he had, he wasn't really wearing his vest a lot. Like when he went out to New York and he had all the people around him, he didn't wear his vest. So a lot of times he wasn't wearing his bulletproof vest. And sometimes he wasn't, depending on what state he in, he wasn't allowed to wear his vest at times. And he'll get pulled over and arrested. Like Pac was being pulled over and arrested and harassed constantly since he got out of jail. Constantly. Hit the like button, good people. Oh, Reggie had 27 years to perfect his lies. And he still ain't good at it. That's one thing about telling lies. You forget what you're told. Now, you said, why weren't any Metropolitan Police in Vegas interviewed the night of the shooting, even though they were on Suge's payroll at the time? Sir, you're talking about Vegas PD. Nobody on Vegas PD was on Suge's payroll. What are you talking about? You must know something that I know. Vegas PD at that time was not like what you think it is. Las Vegas Police Department is not like it is now. Back in the 90s, around that time, it wasn't like it is today. You know, it was entirely different. I mean, that's some, you don't understand. It wasn't I want to go to Vegas. He didn't want to go. He had to go. Or he goes to jail. So that's the only choice Pac had. You either go to Vegas or you're going to jail. See, that's what people don't, they get caught into this disillusion of what's happening. All you got to do is research. You got the internet right in front of you. Go in there, Tupac probation violation. And look at the date and time when that happened. His court date had just went by and they were saying, hey, you got to provide this charity thing or whatever, you facing jail time. He's facing going back to jail for violating his parole. Tupac was facing going back to jail. So all of these stories about Suge made him go to Vegas, he had to go to Vegas. Pac really didn't want to go, but Suge was adamant he had to go. He made him go. No, Pac knew he had to go. He knew why he had to do this charity thing. This was going to keep him from going to jail. So he was going to Vegas. No doubt about it, Pac was going. to try to keep himself out of jail. He didn't want to go, he had to go. Now, let me clarify another thing they was talking about. Tupac was ready to leave. He hated Death Row. He would throw tantrums when Death Row wouldn't provide stuff for him that he wanted. He wanted to know his financials. He wanted to know how it was broken down. He wanted to know where his money was going. Since he thought, like, yo, I put out this album, it sold 5 million records. That's a double album. That counts as 2. I'm going to drop Macavelli. Then we up out of here. You know, I'm done. I got one more album I'm going to give you. Boom, we out. And then he was like, what? Suge, like, you leaving? Why would you leave? Man, no, I want to do my own thing. So all of this turned into a whole big meeting where it was, bruh, you can't leave. You know, like, oh, no. Then he broke out the book, started saying, you owe me for that. You owe me for this. You owe me for this. You owe this. You in debt. And he pocked out all this time. The money Suge gave him. Oh, Keefe D, here's that. Here's the car. Here's the house. Here's this. All this stuff he was giving him was Death Row just looking out and keeping it real and hitting him off with stuff. No, that's coming out of your money. You paying for all the stuff Suge giving you. Suge ain't give you nothing for free. That's all you paying for it. And then it wasn't even his. His account was so screwed up, he was paying Nate Dogg child support. That's how screwed up it was. And David Kenner was in charge, and they were delaying giving him his paperwork. So he wrote a letter firing David Kenner. He was going to get his own lawyer and was going to get an order. He wanted to see the books. Now, here's another thing. He wanted to leave and get his own thing. So Pac was going to have Death Row East. He was going to help launch Death Row East and do his own thing and all of this stuff. So while he was getting his own publication, that was for Macavelli. He was getting Infonasia. He was getting that done to get his own publishing because he wanted to have his own publishing rights for his new name, which was going to be Macavelli. He was going to record under Macavelli. That way, he was cutting the ties of Interscope, Jimmy Iovine, and what's his name, Ted Fields, all those guys who had him under contract, who were breaking him in half, mixed with Death Row. He's cutting out all of those people from the recording name Tupac. I'm going to record under Macavelli for Macavelli Records, which I got my own publishing for. So now I'm getting the chunk of it, and I'm a signed artist. So Suge allowed him to do that under Death Row. Death Row going to distribute the records. So they had an understanding. There was no problem. So what y'all don't understand is why y'all keep trying to say, oh, he hated Death Row, he hated Death Row. Yes, at a time, until Suge said, okay, well, I'm going to help you do this and get that, and I just distribute it. You get your record label, that means you got your own thing, and I distribute it under Death Row. Yeah, but he was going to give him a Tupac album, too. He was like, you could do your Machiavellis, but I do want a Tupac album. And he was like, bet, I'll throw you a Tupac album. You know, no problem. Let me get my Machiavelli album out, get Machiavelli Records, I'm going to get the Outlaws rolling. And he was work. So this breaks up all the rumors and controversy with actual factual information. This is factual. It's not blah, blah, blah. Yes, he was upset with Death Row plenty of times because they weren't doing right by him. And he, man, I'm leaving. You know, Pac could throw a tantrum and say a whole bunch of stuff. Then the next day, he'd be right back. Like it's cool. Nothing happened. He blows up. That's what he do. So a lot of people are like, yeah, man, he said he was sick. He was leaving Death Row. Yeah, he was until once he found out he wouldn't really have any money after selling 5 million records. The same thing happened with Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown sold 4 million records on Don't Be Cruel and was like, hey, where my money? They was like, well, Bobby, you didn't write none of the damn songs. You just sung on them. We had to pay the writers, we got to pay the producers, we got to pay everybody else. This is your cut. You making money off the tours. You better get out there on the road. So he was on the tours and he found out and he was like, man, I ain't making another record for them. That's why it was so long before Bobby Brown made another album. You see, y'all gotta understand, this whole record game is entirely crazy. No, he was gonna do it his way. He wanted to make Tupac records. Songs like what he called an introspective album. And that's why he said, I'm gonna give y'all that who do y'all believe in, my letter to my firstborn, another, basically me against the world type album. Tupac is somebody that talks about different subjects that's going on in the hood and around the world. Letter to my firstborn, all of these type of records that are introspective. Who do you believe in? And he also put some anthems out there for the dudes in the street. So he was working on that album. He was about halfway done with that album. Oh yeah, we talked about academics crying on the Patreon. I don't like to give him no type of push here on my main channels because I don't think he deserves it. Because it's like, why is he even relevant? So Keefe D and his 2 public defenders that he was given because he could not afford the services of Ross Goodman right now. So he went ahead and pleaded not guilty, which was no surprise, and that they want a bench trial over a jury, which is not surprising because why else would you basically convict yourself with a jury? You put me on that jury as soon as I come in there. Can you be unbiased? Damn right. I'm here to let my shirt be like Lock Up Keefe. Operation Lock Up Keefe. He said he was in the car? Yeah. Guilty. What we need the trial for? He was in the car? Yeah. Case closed. That's all I needed to see. Case closed. Dude, any little thing could have saved Pac's life. It's like 50 million things. That's why I say when it's your time, it's just your time. It's your time, bro. I told you the 1,000,001 things that had to happen when my friend lost his life. For him to pull out on the road and his enemy to be coming down the same road at that moment in time, they just end up on the same road going down the road. That's 1,000,000 to 1. Probably more. The odds are greater than that. And then the scenario of everything that happened after that is about another 1,000,000. Add another 20 million to 1. That a bullet just happened to graze his nose bone and ricochet to the back. meaning it almost missed him and hit the person right next to him. There was a lot of instances that happened. They just happened to see them. And Keefe's own words, they were on the other side and they turned around and got on that street because they saw everybody waving and blowing horns. Like, oh, that's Tupac. Hey. They was like, oh, there they go. And they said they swung around. Now, right after that, it was like war going on in Compton. Like everybody on the West Coast knew what happened. Like West Coast dudes knew what happened, period. They knew. So, boom. Thunder is going off there. Thunder's going off on this side. If it wasn't for them having that meeting, because a lot of people don't know when Big died, Nas was out there. Nas was out there. Nas was out there because he was out there recording. Big was out there for like 2 months. He was going through it for 2 months in LA. People telling him every day, man, we're going to kill you, we're going to kill you. That was going on for 2 months. Nas is out there. They saw each other in the mall and they didn't even speak. That was the last time they seen each other and they just walked past each other. It's just weird. And he was like, man, that's weird. He was like, man, dude tripping. So, yeah, it's just crazy. Hit the like button, good people. Hit the like button. So when the whole case was coming to what you would say come to a head, Nas didn't say what's up to him either. They were kind of beefing at the time, and they for no reason. It was just a competitive thing, you know, like he was mostly siding. Nas was siding with like Ray and Ghost on the situation mostly. And he was like, man, dog, you told me, because he asked Nas, like, did he have a problem with it? And it was like, nah. Then when Nas came out with It Was Written, you know, and he was like, it's one life, one love, so there can only be one king. And when he say that, he was talking about Biggie. And then they put that on the poster board. One life, one love, one king. And it was like Nas was up there, and they was like, man, he coming for Big. So the whole thing, and Biggie took a lot of the shots he was saying on the album was like, oh, okay, now you were done. First you was broken dusty. Now you were done. Now you Big Willie. Now you Willie Esco. Okay, all these Dons and Willies. That's why he kept talking about it. Oh, all these fake Dons and Willies. Yeah. That's why Kicking the Door is so vicious, because it got everybody in one big bowl. And this goes out to you, and you, and you. Your reign on the top was short like leprechauns, meaning Nas. Your reign at the top is going to be short like leprechauns. Because I crushed so-called willies, thugs, and rapper dons. Yeah, because now Tupac calls himself the Don. I'm Macavelli the Don. I was a capo under Suge. Now I got my own thing. He was going full mafioso. So he was like, everybody was in the mafioso era. Goodfellas came out, Casino came out. So everybody was into the mob era. And it was mob rap. So everything. So Nas, he just did the re-breaking of Casino. When they came out for Street Dreams video, he got Frank up in the video. He got on the pink suit, rocking the sag. Street Dreams, baby. I don't care what nobody says. Street Dreams song is better than Picture Me Rolling. Sorry. I'm sorry. I listen to Street Dreams way more than I listen to Picture Me Rolling. Picture Me Rolling is a nice, smooth song, but oh no, I mean not Picture Me Rolling. All Eyes on Me. Apologize. All Eyes on Me. It's people on the West Coast love that. I apologize. All Eyes on Me song versus Street Dreams. I'm sorry. Street Dreams just harder to me. That's All Eyes on Me song is nice. It's just nice, smooth riding song. Like Picture Me Roll. I'm cool with these songs. Y'all, I don't dislike them. But if I had to pick which song I would like listening to the most, Street Dreams. Hands down, Street Dreams. Love them both. Like them both. But Street Dreams go harder. Street Dreams is harder. That beat feels better with Nas on Street Dreams. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I thought Jordan's in the gold chain was living it up. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Everybody could relate to Street Dreams. Street Dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Everybody's looking for something. My man put me up on the slit. 144%. Home to Delaware with one change of gear. I was like, yeah. Yeah, the video, they ran out of money, so they had to cut Nas' verse. So Nas' verse was reduced when it came to the actual video. Yeah, when it came to the actual video, they cut Nas' verse. So that's why Nas' verse don't sound the way they right when he got there. I used to go to this and cut Naughty. And then they cut the song and they go to the story. You're hot as a pistol, kid. You're hot as a pistol. Hot as the pistol. Gotta stay low. All right, Frank. So they had to move in those tropes. It was different times. So anyway, back to why Nas and Big had that little conflict during the time. But him, Busta, and Biggie was supposed to all be on a song called Dangerous MCs. But and that's when he was going at Pac on that song, and Busta was doing his verse, and Nas was saying his thing. But Nas' line was they all didn't want to record till Big dropped his verse first, and they was like, nah, I ain't getting set up. I ain't finna record, and then Big come and smash me on the record. Nah, get that. Nah, he got to drop his verse first. Then I'm gonna go. And Busta was thinking the same thing. Busta was like, yeah, I'm not finna do it. And Big had, like Nas said, Biggie had broken his leg, and he's like, man, the elevator didn't work. So they had to go up the stairs, and he was just like, man, I love y'all, man, but I can't do them stairs, bro. I can't go and record. So they never got a chance. Big didn't lay his verse to the next day, and they didn't lay their verse. Busta came back and laid his, but Nas was already gone. So Nas never made it on the record. Outlaw say the second verse of Tupac. Are you kidding me? On Picture Me Rolling? Oh, Outlaw, I already know you popped out, but depend on me like the first and 15 on the me. LL Cool J, where him and LL fell out at? LL was tired of, this was 94 after the Quad City shooting. See, here's what a lot of people just don't know. A lot of those guys are cool with LL Cool J too. Like, LL is from Queens. So that's why I keep trying to tell people. LL is from, even though he's from Farmer Boulevard, he's from Queens. He knows all those dudes. He knows Stretch. He knows all these people 50 know. Everybody, LL know these dudes back then, like the OGs, because he's older than 50 now. So he knew all of them when they was younger, when they was out there, the Pappy Masons and all. LL was the biggest thing on earth. You know what I'm saying? So the original 50, he know the original 50 Cent. The original 50 Cent stuck him up in the driveway and took his rope off his neck. He was going through the driveway to go get some food. And it was just like Minister Society. Caught him parking lot pimping. Now this led to some whole other stuff that we gonna talk about on the Patreon. This is another issue that happened. But we gonna leave that for the Patreon. Cause that's some deep stuff. Cause yo, I'm just saying, you can only do so much. But LL was somebody that was known for knowing all these people. Like he knew these dangerous people. You know what I'm saying? Like he knew these guys too. LL ain't no little dude. LL's like 6'4". He was 6'4", 280. All these other rappers like 5'5", 5'6". LL was a big dude. Like he wasn't no dude you finna run up on and talk about punking. So you gonna have to have some iron on you. So everybody keep talking about, man, Tupac would have whooped LL ass. I'm like, man, will y'all please stop? I understand. I'm a fan of Tupac too, but he's not whooping Biggie, and he ain't no whooping no damn LL Cool J. I'm trying to tell you, man. Y'all need to stay in a realm of reality. That was never going to happen. Now, saying like if him and the Outlaws jumped, they both jumped LL Cool J, I can see that happening, yeah. But no. Their problem insisted when Hit 'Em Up song came out. And Tupac started talking about they shot me and Biggie and them did it. And at that time, LL was cool with Biggie now. Like he was recording because Puff was talking about managing him. So Puff was, that's why he ended up on the Flavor in Your Ear remix at the end. LL, he had shaved his head and showed his head for the first time, in the video. and people didn't know what the hell LL was talking about in the song. Word to mama, I tongue kiss a piranha, electrocute a barracuda for trying to bring the drama. Everybody was, what the hell is he talking about? So Puffy was gonna charge about 50,000 or something like that, or 500,000 or something. But it was out of LL's budget at the time. LL had just fired his father, who was his manager. He had to pay him out and get rid of his dad. So he was rebooting his career all over again. So now he's got to restart all over again. And Puffy and Big and all of them was on there. Like I told you, on the original, when he did the Who Shot You, but way before Tupac beef or anything, when they was doing Who Shot You, Keith Murray was on that song. It was Keith Murray. The original version is Keith Murray, Biggie, and LL. Big was in there spitting. LL was still there. Murray was there. LL said, I'm out. I'll come back tomorrow, man. Oh no. Oh no. Dude burning the booth down. Nah, he in the zone. He in album mode. Yeah. Nah, I ain't getting on that. Let me go home and see if I can come up with something, but nah, not today. LL looked at what he had wrote down and was like, listening to Big spit in the booth. He said, nah. L went home, and he's smart. That is a veteran move. When you trying to get your career back on track, you don't want to get burnt by the new guy that's supposed to be the new king of rap, and the way he's zoning out on these tracks. You know heat when you hear it. If you a rapper, and you hear another rapper go and hit the like button, what the heck going on here? They not counting the likes. Super chat work too, y'all. Yeah. So if you hear all this, your mind is gonna think different. Keith Murray, his verse is on the original because of YouTube. You can now hear it. But back then in the day, you had to have it. And they moved it to a Mary J. Blige song. The beat was on Mary J. It was like an intro. Because Puff loved the way Keith Murray attacked that beat. He didn't care what Big was saying. He didn't care about that. He didn't run at all. Murray was, man, I don't care. Boy, Murray came in and attacked that beat. Arms, legs. Man, he just came in there nasty. So it was on the intro on a Mary J. Blige song. Just so they could save it. Puff was like, man, this is too hot. That thing was in the clubs in New York and was killing it. The Keith Murray version. They was like, man, this song here is hitting. So Big ended up doing the whole song by himself. They took Murray part off and they just let Big just do the whole song. Give Me the Loot was supposed to be Nas and Biggie. Nas supposed to do the other part of the rap. And Big ended up doing the whole rap by himself. And a lot of people for a while did not know that the other person was Biggie. They thought that was Little C's. That's not Little C's. That's Biggie doing both verses. He's the one changing his voice to sound like the other guy. Because that was supposed to be a go back and forth with him and Nas. There was no Little C's rapping thing at this time. Or he would have done it with C's. Ooh, Biggie, let me smack her. Hit him with the guy, hit him with a bat. Chill, shorty, let me do that. That was all Biggie. Biggie's doing both verses. Goodness gracious, the paper. Where the stash at? Where the cash at? That was just Big. Y'all just didn't know. It was Big. It was all Big. Now, Yeah, Nas, he didn't have nothing for Gimme the Loot. Big was in his zone, man. That's what I'm saying. He was scaring MCs. People were smart to get off these records. If you get on a record and Big burn you on the record, it's over. It's over. See, that's something they can never say as well. Big and Maz, they never got a chance to get on that record together to see who was who and what was what. Now, as much as I like Ray and Ghost, they can't get down with Big. They couldn't get down with Big. You ain't gonna get down with Big. Big wasn't running. That's right, QB. Oh, they gave him. I don't think he outdid him on the what. They gave him. Uh, they gave him hip hop quotable of the month, Method Man, for that. And I thought Big came with it, especially on that. Cold as the pole in the winter, far from the inventor, but I got this rap shit showed, and when the gats are low, I'm guaranteed another video. Ready to die, act this way, it's my like the bag took the little thing. So and then I'm making holes suck for dick up. I used to do snickers, but holes are irritating like the hiccups. Excuse me, flows just goes through me like trees to branches, cliffs to avalanches. It's the praying mantis. I was like, man, are you kidding? Man, my verse ain't touched that verse. Are you kidding me? The source is just Biggie was an unknown artist, really. And Method Man was Method Man, Wu-Tang. So they just gave him the verse. Oh, man. Shoot. Oh, man. Yeah, that was bad. Keefe, man, lock him up. Don't let him out. He said he was in the car. That's good enough for me. You gotta go too. You was in the car. Good. Come on. Here's a nice sale for you. Lock away the key. Bye-bye. Sit down. Puffy will not have to testify. Why would Puffy have to testify? Where's this check for $1 million? You going off what Gene said. Shouts out to Gene Deal channel. He got a channel, the Gene Deal show. Support his show. You can get a chance, go hit him up and check out whatever he's saying about the situation. But let's get into this, man. Zip got $1 million for the hit. Now, who said that? Keefe D, the same guy who said Tupac was reaching for a gun in his book. He says Tupac was reaching for a gun. So we all know he's a liar. So now that we know he's a liar, because we got other witnesses who were there who could point out certain things, stuff that really matter, all he gonna do is keep coming up with fabrication. He promised me $1 million. Who would pay you $1 million? What? Nobody in this world would do that. Zip had a check for $1 million. I seen the check for $1 million. That's what Gene said. Did the check say the $1 million to go to Zip so he can get him the money? No. He opened up a nightclub in New York with the money. That's what the check was for. Jesus Christ. Called the zip code in New York. Exhibit 2. When they was in LA, Keefe D and all those guys were coming to hang around Biggie and all those guys after this thing with Pac was already done. So if you ain't get your money, you saying they hired you, right? And you ain't get your money, why are you kicking it at the party? Why are you at the museum kicking it? You and your guys. What you kicking it there for if they ain't pay you your money? Oh, save it for the Patreon? Oh, don't worry. I got a lot to say on the Patreon. A lot. Stuff that's been building up. So this was just the beginning. Wait till the Casino for Life Patreon today. Today. I gave y'all the whole day off yesterday, and I said I'm gonna let y'all rest because I gave y'all a lot on Halloween. So now at the Halloween, y'all got y'all full meal. Now y'all ready for what's finna come now today. We already started with one, right? We got one thing up. That was with academics, right? And him crying and all that, right? That's just a little appetizer before the meal. The meal finna come, like probably after this video. You finna hear a lot of stuff that you ain't know nothing about, that nobody ever spoke about. That's going on tonight. So if you on Casino for Life Patreon, get ready because it's finna blow up tonight. So shouts out to Kwame Brown Buzz Life. Want to say shouts out to Mondo Black TV, Ticket TV, welcome to HDII TV. And see y'all over there. Thanks for everybody who super chat, everybody who hit up my Cash App, which is Carceno, Carceno. And I'm out the door.